Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to LIBOR's Wednesday webinar. My name is Marianne Montagnoni, Vice President of Professional Development for LIBOR. I am so thrilled to be working once again, and I almost want to say by popular demand, our friend William James. Let me tell you a little bit about him formally and about this session, and then I'll turn it over to him. Since 1999, G. William James Consulting has been providing professional training on wireless smartphones, PDAs, mobile computers, and growing list of wireless technologies for business and leisure. Trained by the engineers and market professionals from device manufacturers, he offers the most up-to-date training and productivity solutions available to realtors. G. William James is no stranger to LIBOR. He is presented at our Ed conference, our MLS tech fairs, and we're so happy to have him back. And I will tell you by popular demand, he held 2 webinars for us on Google SEOs, and we just had to have him back for Google Calendar. So I turn it over to our friend William, and welcome back.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Marianne, for that fantastic introduction. I was kind of impressed listening to that guy. Well, let me get my screen set up properly here so we can go ahead and get started. We have limited time, so I don't want to spend a lot of time with fluff and what have you. But I will say that for those of you who attended the SEO sessions that we've had, the last 2, I appreciate you being here. I've been getting a lot of email questions from you and some support requests, and I bring them on. I'm more than willing to work with you on that. And the reason why we decided to bring this particular presentation of the Google Universe focusing on Google Calendar is because it plays such an important role in the SEO part. So if you were actually in the last 2 sessions, this is somewhat of a continuation, but it's all brand new material, and I think you're really going to like what you see. And some of the things that you're going to learn today are really going to change the course of your business. So without any further, let's just go ahead and move forward. And I want to begin with how you can keep in contact with me. And many of you have already been doing it, so keep it going. And if you need me for questions or for support, please just reach out to me at my website at gwilliamjames.com or directly to email at william@gwilliamjames.com. And then, of course, at the bottom of the screen, you see my social media. And I am more than willing to reach out to you, connect with me. You're going to see more and more content coming across my social media over the next couple of months. It's just been so busy that I didn't realize how much time and effort it really took to be a social media influencer, if you will. I'm nowhere near that, but I would like to move in that direction. I don't want to spend a lot of time on these screens introducing and talking about who I am, because I want to get directly to the content and talk about the important things that are available to us as mobile professionals. So this is what I want you to do, just like we did in the previous 2 sessions. I need for you to send me an email to this address, william@gwilliamjames.com. And in the subject line, I simply want you to put in what you see, Google Calendar 2022. Now, please make certain to spell every word and don't forget the spaces in between. And if you do so, you're going to get the magic of Gmail involved, where you're going to automatically get a response email from me. And this is one of the things that I really love teaching agents on, how to automate their systems, because there's so many things that agents need to do but don't have the time, or things happen during times when they're busy doing other things. So it's great to have an automated system that will allow you to provide information and content to those who are reaching out to you, whether you are away or on vacation or working with another client. So this is one of those tools. And so if you type in Google Calendar 2022, you're going to get the response email. And what's in that email is a direct link to today's handout. Okay, it's not an extensive handout, because most of the things that I really want to emphasize in this course is going to be demonstrated live to you. All right, so that's why we do that. Now, when I talk about the Google universe, I talk about a series of applications that are available to you for your business and personal success. So whether it's Gmail, using Google Drive in place of Microsoft Office 365 or whatever you're using the Google Calendar system, Google Analytics, YouTube for your videos and building your podcasts and your content, Google Workspace, which is basically the aggregation of these applications, but it's more on a enterprise level. And it gives you a lot more flexibility, a lot more control of your content, especially if you're working with teams of people. So if you've got a group of 3 people or more that you're working with, this is a great way of building your team, collaborating with each other, and it's using all the same tools on a little higher level. Then, of course, there's Google Chrome, the browser that we recommend for you to use. If you're a blogger or a vlogger, then Blogspot is one of the tools of the Google universe that will be very used. Here's Google Meet. It's very similar to what we're using today with Zoom, but many of the Google features are built right into the Google Meet. So it just kind of makes it really easy for you to integrate all of these tools into one very useful and convenient feature. Then, of course, there's Google Voice, where you can actually build your own phone system right into your Google account, use that same phone number on the current device that you have. Google Voice has been around for a long time, and they've gotten a lot better with it for text messaging, receiving and sending calls all over the world. And then, of course, there's Google Maps, which plays a huge part in your SEO and in getting your reviews. So a lot of people who do Google Maps, when they come into, let's say if they come into Long Island and they're looking for a particular listing location, or if they're looking for a realtor, the Google Maps may pop up and give them your address just as easily as the My Business profile. And then, of course, there's Google Photos that plays a major role in especially what we do in sharing graphic and media information with our clients. So these are the tools of the Google universe. Now, the reason why I really emphasize this is because all of these tools work intimately together. And as I talked about the last 2 sessions, when it comes to SEO, the content that you add to each one of these help to raise your search engine optimization. These are the tools that actually bring you to the first page of the results and get you to the top of the page of the results. And that's what I was emphasizing the last couple of sessions, is how the content is king. So if you go back to those handouts that I gave you, or you listen to the video again, you'll hear me emphasize over and over again about how important the content is to raising your SEO and getting the exposure that you want and getting discovered by the people who are searching for real estate opportunities in your area. And so we want to make sure that we add content to all of these. So we're going to focus on adding content in Google Calendar today. So this is what we talk about when we look at real estate transactions moving forward. Of course, some of this is already in place, and we're still focusing on social distancing, even though we're not as focused on it as we did the last couple of years, but we're still conscious of it. And so a lot of the things that we do, especially when it comes to technology, it plays a bigger role. So we're doing a lot more online events and a lot online communication, FaceTiming, and doing things like that so that we can communicate. But also what we're looking at is using more automation, as I just mentioned a moment ago, using virtual tours, automated showings. Most of the software and the video tools that we see today, using drones to record and things like that, are giving us the capability of creating video content that we can share online on demand. Online consultations, you may want to meet people online before you actually come out and meet them at the properties or what have you. And even down to, document signings, doing virtual closings, if you will. Those are the future items that we're going to see moving forward as we evolve into this new norm of being more virtual rather than face to face. Now, what makes the Google Calendar so special? I mean, every smartphone you've ever had has a calendar in it. You've probably over the years have had a day planner or a day runner, or you use the Covey system and all these different tools for time management. But what make Google Calendar stand out? And I think that there's some significant features that really give us an opportunity to be more successful with our time management because of the online and great features. Now, for years, I've been a time management professional. In fact, back in the 80s and 90s, I actually did time management and productivity not webinars, but seminars, which I taught people how to take that day planner, that day runner that they had, and turn it into a powerful tool for scheduling and making money. But now we don't use this anymore. That's the old school. Today, we're using everything on our smartphones. And the benefit of that is that it's better than ever. We're using the smartphone technology that really takes all of the features that we used in the old school books, integrated it into our phones, but it gave us all kinds of support systems that make it even easier and better for us to use. For example, easier to transport, easier to access, separating our calendar events in multiple categories, and we're going to talk about that. All the different alarms and reminders and notifications, those books could never provide that kind of information. And if you ever lost your book, you were pretty much out of the loop because there was no backup system that was automatically backing it up as you entered data, not unlike today. So to have that capability is golden all by itself, but also the ability to share calendars with your colleagues, with your assistant, with your family members. It really helps to create a more unified system of organization between people that you work with or share your life with. And then one part, and this is the SEO part, making your calendar events publicly accessible so that people can see them online, or if they're not able to see them online, they still have the capability of raising your SEO because it counts as content that you are adding to the internet based on your activities in your. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, I'm going to skip over this because I want you to read this handout that you just got, and you're going to see a lot of these little advanced tips and tricks on how to navigate through your calendars a little faster, how to set them up. And we're actually going to go into the setup features because I want you to get a really good feeling of what that's all about. These are the keyboard shortcuts if you're using your Google Calendar on your desktop, how you can see the different screens, looking at the week view versus the month view, or the single day, or even the full year. Now, the Google Calendar really is about time management and improving your time management. Now, as entrepreneurs, as single business owners, as people who really are in command or control of their own time, this I have discovered over the years to be one of our biggest challenges. And it is the successful agents, it is the successful business that actually have developed and maintains a time management system that works, that they maintain and they hold on to. And there are some boundaries and parameters that we really need to hold on to that really will work for you if you become and maintain your consistency with them, because your time is very, very valuable to you, and you need to make the time that's valuable to you valuable to those with whom you work, whether it's your clients or your colleagues. Okay, so before we get into the calendar, I just want to give you a little tip and useful ideas on how to become more focused on your time management. Just basically just starting your day with a clear focus, knowing what you want to accomplish by the end of the day, and stay focused on that and check things off as you go along, right? Have a dynamic task list, things that you want to get done, and you're focusing on what's important and what's going to be beneficial to you, as opposed to what might be, you can knock some useful things off of your list, but they really didn't make you any money that day. So you want to be able to prioritize on that by focusing on your high value activities. So make sure that you read over these details and go through that process. So let me go ahead and just move to our calendar so that we can start to see what this calendar system is all about. Now, what you're looking at is my Google Calendar from a month perspective. Now, if we look over to the left side, all right, I want to scroll down and you can see where it says my calendar. And this is where you get to customize and choose which calendars you want to have so that you can separate your activities, your personal from your business, your real estate compared to your personal goals. All of those kinds of things can be organized right here. We're going to get there in just a moment. And it also gives you the ability to choose what you want to display on your calendar at any given time. For example, something that I do is I keep my birthdays. Birthdays are a very important part of managing and maintaining relationships in this business. And this is a relationship design business. So this is something I want to share with you that I think you're going to love if this is not something that you're already doing. So I can turn the birthday calendar on and off, because if I don't need to see it, then I can turn it off where I don't have to see it whenever I want. And I can show what calendars are important to me and the ones that I don't. All right. So as I said, this is my calendar as a whole, my monthly perspective. And I can come over here to the top right and I can change the view to a single day, week, month, year schedule, a 4-day calendar by clicking on that arrow. Or as the handout will show, if I wanted to change it to the day, I can just tap the letter D. Or if I want the week, I can just tap the W, or go back to my monthly calendar by tapping the M on the desktop. Now that's the desktop version. The mobile version is just as easy, but it's really about that menu. What they call, a lot of trainers call that menu, call it the hamburger, but I'm just going to say that those horizontal lines represent the menu. So you'll see that on the desktop and you'll see it on the mobile device as well. So let's go into the calendar setup, because I want to spend a lot of time over there so we can actually get some things done. So if you come over to the right, upper right corner, you can click on that gear and take us to the settings menu. It'll drop down, click on settings. And now we can go in and customize your Google Calendar so it works exactly the way you want. And you're going to absolutely love what this system can do for you. Now, up in the upper left corner, you see where it says General. There's a little accordion there. General, Add Calendar, Import or Export. Now, we're going to go into the General in just a moment. If you need to add a calendar, meaning you want to create a new calendar or a new sub calendar, you can actually add 25 calendars here. So you've got your main calendar that you cannot delete or remove. But then, like you saw my birthday calendar, or you might see other calendars that I've created, my gym schedule or family events and things of that nature, you would create those right here. We're going to do that in just a moment. Browsing calendars of interest, we're going to talk about that too. Or you can actually bring in calendars. Like here's one that says from URL. Now, when my daughter was in high school, her school system had an online calendar that I could add. And all you had to do was go online to the calendar to see all the school events, days that they're going to be out of school and what have you, and copy the URL or the address from that line that you see here, right? If it was a school calendar, and paste it into from URL, paste it right there, and that would become one of my 25 calendars. So I would easily import the school system's calendar into my own personal calendar system by simply choosing from URL. So it really is very useful. And then the next choice was import and export. Now, what does that mean? That means that I can take calendars from Outlook or Apple, or if I have another calendar system that I need to bring into my Google Calendar so I can see everything in one place, all you had to do was bring them in, just import them. And I can absolutely show you how that's done. It's really simple. As you see here, if you're using Apple, you can use the iCal to import it in here. And trust me, if you use your iCal and you update your events, it would automatically update in your Google Calendar because they're live cloud-based calendars. So they would absolutely support you there. All right, so let's go back up to general here. And this is the basic setup of the Google. Starting with language and region, of course, we want to basically set those as something simple like English, United States, and you can change your date formats the way that works best for you, as well as the time format. You want to change that to a 24-hour clock, no problem. All right, if you wanted to add a secondary time zone, you could simply click on and then add one. So let's say, you know, I also do a lot of work on the West Coast. I could simply come over and I can select Pacific Time Los Angeles, and now it will display both East and West Coast time zones. So when I'm scheduling events for my friends on the East Coast, such as you, it would reflect that it would be on the East Coast. And if I was setting something for the West Coast people, it would reflect that way too. Now, what's great about that is if I hop on a plane and I fly out to Los Angeles, my time schedule is going to flip so that my notifications will continue to remind me at the proper time. If I have a meeting scheduled for a phone meeting or a Zoom meeting on the East Coast, it's going to show me at 1 p.m. in Los Angeles that I've got a 4 o'clock meeting in New York. So this works. It really does. And it's very, very useful. Let's scroll down until we can set up how you want your meetings to set up on your calendar. Do you want the default duration to be 15 minutes or 30 minutes? I personally, on my calendar, I like 30-minute windows because I have a lot of meetings. I may have 2 in an hour, but you can choose how you want them to go, and then you can customize them as meetings go longer or what have you. All right. So I want you to just go down this list and see all the different things that you can set up individually right here in the settings. Setting notifications. This is automatic. When I set a new event in my calendar, it automatically sets an alert, and it automatically sets in my personal calendar, it sets for 10 minutes. So it will automatically remind me 10 minutes before a particular event that I've got that meeting coming up. And I'll give you some insights on why that's going to be really important moving forward. Okay. And then here are the view options. How do you want your calendar to display? So you have all of these options. So it really fits your perspective, your lifestyle, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and how you want it laid out. Some people like their calendars to start on Monday. And so there'll be Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday will be on the end of the week, you know, set up that way. So if that's how you like to see your calendar, especially for realtors, because you may have very heavy activity on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, those are huge showing weekends, etc. You want to put those days together, especially when you're building your calendar, no problem. Just put them together and it'll make it easier for you to see. All right, now, here's a new feature that would be very useful to you. It says events from Gmail. You see how the system kind of works together? It's actually going to aggregate dynamic events coming from Gmail. Now, what does that mean? Now, if you ever took my Gmail class, you'll know that there's a feature in Gmail called dynamic email, where you may have seen some of these, where you open up an email, there's an invitation or an opportunity for you to schedule an event or book time with a practitioner or something. You know, you want to get your massage scheduled for a particular time. That massage therapist may have a dynamic calendar set up where you can actually book your time from within that email that you receive. Now, what would happen is when you select it, guess what it's going to do? It's going to automatically add that to your Google Calendar by checking the box here that takes that dynamic email and brings it over here. This is one of the ways that it really integrates with all the other tools. So these are really powerful and dynamic features and functions. All right. Now, so let's move over to the new calendars. All right. So I'm going to add a calendar here. So I'm going to click on add calendar, and I'm going to create a new calendar. All right. Now, this is what makes this so much fun to use and so powerful. I'm going to create a calendar here, and I'm simply going to call it Open House. This is going to be the calendar for the open houses for my realty company and the other agents that work in my team. Okay, so all of our open houses are going to display in the same calendar at the same time. Now, under description, keeping in mind of the first two sessions that we had on SEO, and this is why I really wanted to bridge this, is because when you're creating this calendar, remember you're creating content, and keywords play a very valuable role in how you get discovered. The algorithm will pick up certain keywords that will introduce you to the public that are doing searches. So you can say that this is the calendar that displays, or I'm just thinking off the top of my head, all of the open house calendar events, open house events for Legacy Realty. You see? And whatever keywords that you want to use. Now, remember, if somebody is searching for Legacy Realty in the Google search, because it's here, this is going to become part of the search results. It may not be at the very top, but it will become part of the search results, and the algorithm will also pick it up. You see? So it's going to use this as a search result, right? Open house events. I forgot to put that word in there. So open house events. You may want to talk about the location. You may want to say it's Long Island, New York. You may want to put in zip codes. You may want to put in that most of our properties are near the LIRR. This is a general description, so you may not want to get too detailed in the description for the calendar, but you will be able to do that once we start to create the events. So I'm going to just use this and create the calendar. And you see it says calendar creation in progress. All right, so now a little pop-up that said that I can configure this calendar. So I selected that, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to start to configure it to make it so that I can display it the way I want. The first option that I have here is I can check this box on the left to make this calendar public. Now, it doesn't make your gym schedule, your family calendar, your personal calendars public, just the open house calendar. That's what you want. So you said, okay. And now every calendar that you add to that, every event that you add to the open house calendar will become publicly available to the algorithm and part of your SEO. You see? So that's what we want. We want to make it part of the SEO. Now, you can actually get a shareable link here. I can copy this link just right here. And now what can I do with that link? I can take it over to Facebook and create a new post and say, hey, everybody, here's my open house calendar for all the open house events moving forward, and drop the link there. And all that person has to do is click on the link. It's going to open up the Google Calendar events. They don't have to use Google at all. They don't have to have their own Google Calendar because it's all based on the internet. So when you copy this link, or just click on the copy link and then paste it into Facebook, drop it into LinkedIn, drop it into Twitter, or you can drop it into the bio of the Instagram. People have access to your publicly displayed Google open house calendar. It raises your SEO. It's adding content, not just to your Google activities, but also to your social media. All of it plays a vital role in what we're doing. So if you want to do that, just click on make it public and then click on the link, and now you can have it. All right. Now, if you want to create the opportunity to share this calendar with specific individuals. So let's say that you have a team of 4 agents and you have an administrator who basically runs the office and basically takes care of everybody. All right. This is where you can simply add individuals. So I can simply click on add people. And let's say I'm going to add on this particular email account. I put in their name at gmail.com, and then I give them a level of permission. So I'm going to give this individual full access. They can make changes, they can manage sharing, or I could just give them where they can make changes to the events, which means now I'm going to click on send. It's going to send an email to that person and invite them to join this calendar. And when they do so, now they can actually, because I gave them the permission to make changes, when they put in open house events on their Google Calendar, it will automatically import to mine. And it will be part of this calendar aggregated. And if they need to make any changes, they can make changes because I gave them permission to do so. And then I can go on and add other people to the team and give them a limited version. I can say, well, you can see all the events, but you can't change anything. And then send them an invitation. Now, everything that I put on my calendar, they can see in their Google Calendar. Everything that they add to their calendar, I can see in my Google Calendar. But they cannot go in and make changes except on their own Google Calendar, you see? But if you give them full permission, they can go in and make changes anytime. So this is great for families too. So if you wanted to create a family calendar and invite every member of the family to be active participants in it, and let's say that you've got a regular Friday evening outing, every Friday at 7 o'clock, you guys go out and go to a drive-in movie or meet at a pizzeria or something. And then one day you change it to 8 p.m. because you have a late showing. You change it to 8 p.m. on your calendar. It changes on everybody's Google Calendar instantaneously with a notification. Lets them know that the time has been changed from 7 to 8. You don't have to make any phone calls. You don't have to do any of that. They can look on their own smartphone and see the time has been changed from 7 to 8. So sharing with specific people is a major factor in building your open house calendar in this case, and having everybody's open house events on one calendar for the public to see at one time. All right, so you got, of course, setting your own notifications. So if you want to set notifications by default on my personal calendar, I have it set for 10 minutes. You want to set one day ahead, that's up to you, right? However you want. Then you got all day event notifications. All of this is customizable for new events, changed events, all that is all right here. Now, here's something that you're going to find really, really handy. This is how to integrate your calendar and to share it across the internet without maybe using the social media per se. For example, If you want a public URL to this calendar, just copy that information and you can put that on the internet, or you could put it in social media, or if you have a blog page, just paste that into the blog page and people will have access to your calendar right there from their web browser because you have shared this information with them, right? The next one here is an embed code. Now, whenever you see the word embed, think of website. So let's say on your website, you have an open house calendar, or you have a calendar of events that you create, or if you're going to be on live on YouTube or live on Instagram or what have you, and you have it on a schedule, you want to put it on the calendar, you can do that. And then just use this embed code, copy it, and put it in your website. Now, if you don't manage your own website, you can simply copy this link right here, send it by email to the person that does manage your website. They will build a separate tab on your website, call it calendar, for example, and then post this information using that link. And now people can see your publicly displayed events, not your private stuff, just the publicly displayed events into your Google Calendar on your website. And if you update your calendar on Google Calendar, it automatically updates the website. So you don't have to go back and check it. Now, by clicking on customize, now you can actually take the responsibility of really taking it and working it here. All right. So over here, you can decide what you want to show on your calendar. For example, I can take off the time zone. I could take off the calendar list, right? I could take out the print icon, this one right here. So it'll only display what you want, right? The navigation buttons, it'll take them out. So you can't move from one month to the next without that permission. And set your background colors, change whatever it is that you want for that. And then you can even choose which calendars are going to display and which ones will not. So I'm going to take out my personal calendar information. I'm going to take out my workout schedule right over on the left side. And what you see here is I'm going to just leave open house and holidays in the United States. And that's what they're going to see in that calendar on my website. You see, we'll talk about the holidays in the United States, how to get that on your way. So you can set the default view. You want them to see it from a monthly perspective, or you want them to see what the calendar looks like for today, or a week's perspective, which day it starts for the display of the calendar. All of that shows right here. And once you save this information, once you're done, you simply copy the code and send that to your webmaster, the person that creates your Google Calendar events on your website. It'll automatically update. And then when you go to your website, for example, if I go to my website here and I click on calendar over here, it shows my Google Calendar. You won't see a whole lot on here because I haven't put any publicly displayed events here, but this is my calendar. All it's showing is my mobile device maintenance day, which is the 15th of every month, and it will show any holidays for the month of August, which we didn't have any. But if I move to the next, and I don't have I took out the button so they can go to the next month. But if they could go to the next month, then they could see Labor Day would show up on Monday the 5th. So that's how it works. And this is showing on my website. So just by simply going into the calendar events and customizing this will make it so easy for you to share this calendar, for you to post it in your website, for you to post it on your blog page or what have you. And then of course, you've got these other links above this that will allow you to share that calendar with your social media. You see? All right. So let me pause here just for a second to see if anybody has any questions that I can answer before we move forward, because we're running down to about 20 more minutes of time to present. So if there's any questions, here's your opportunity to ask very quickly, and I will monitor the chat room, and I'm sure Ethan is in here, and he'll help us out with that too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And I'm going to say that we're finished with this particular part of adding the calendar. And I'm going to go down to the last menu item over here on the left side, and it says settings for other calendars. Now, I'm going to put in, let me just close this. And then I'm going to click on browse calendars of interest. Now, these are calendars that Google have built into the system that would be for your convenience, right? So number one, you want to check off the one that says birthdays from your contacts. You want to do that, and I'll show you why you want to do that in just a moment. And then if you've got regional holidays, for example, holidays in the United States is one of the calendars that I've chosen. But if you wanted to have the holidays in other countries, there's a whole list of holidays in other countries. So if you wanted to add Canada, for example, all right, now I've already added holidays in Canada. So when I scroll back up, so now you see, so you're going to see Boxing Day, you're going to see Canadian Thanksgiving, and all of that on your publicly displayed calendar as you choose so. Now, you also have religious holidays. So if I wanted to add Jewish holidays to my calendar, now I can add that one. And now you'll see Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, you know, all of those added to my calendar. And I can display or not display them at my leisure. And then, of course, if you're into sports, and many people are, let's say that you are a football fan. And let's say that you kind of like the NFL, and let's say that you're kind of partial to the New York Giants. And I hope I'm not creating a rift here in the room, but I'm going to select the New York Giants as the team that I want to display the calendar for in my Google Calendar. So you're going to see that come up pretty soon. Now, when I come over here, I click on the settings, the arrow going back to my calendar here. Look down the menu on the left side here, and now you see I've got the New York Giants calendar, which is going to show, and you don't see anything in August because they're not playing yet. But if I come over here to September and October, look at this. I've got the Jewish calendar, holidays calendar showing. I've got Thanksgiving Day for Canada showing. And look over here. I've got the Ravens, the Bears, and the Jaguars playing the Giants on Sundays. You see, all of those calendar events are now showing on my calendar. Now, if you don't want them to display, even though they're going to be there, just uncheck them and they won't show. Even if people come to look at your calendar, they won't show unless you allow them to display. And these are the things that you would want to put in your public calendar. So when they come to your website, they can see the Giants calendar, or they can see the Jewish holidays, or they can see the holidays in the United States and Canada. Now, also, here's my open house calendar here that's going to display too. And of course, my birthdays. Now, why do I want my birthdays to display? I actually don't, for the most part, because, you know, if I'm using my calendar, I don't want it to be cluttered with all of this stuff. So I typically don't have my birthdays to display. But when I use it is the first of the month, because what I will do is I'll come to the calendar on the birthday, the first of the month, and I'll see everybody's birthday. So I'll go to, let's say I'll go to September here, and I see everybody's birthday coming up in the month of September. And what I will do is I will send out my scheduled birthday greeting email. And I have one built into my Gmail templates. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a blast. You know, and, you know, my organization is wishing you and yours the best on your birthday. And then I schedule that template email to go out with their name on it. on their birthday. So I put out everybody's birthday greeting at the beginning of the month. Done. So when Bill Love's birthday comes up on the 9th, I don't have to see that on my calendar because my Gmail is already set. Remember automation? It's already set to send Bill an email wishing him a happy birthday on September 9th at 8 a.m. So I do that every time for the month. Now, how do I get these here? Well, I'll show you. Let me come over to my contacts. And now you see my Google contacts. And this is part of I do a whole session on how to build your CRM and how to really take full advantage of your contacts, building relationships, maintaining them, and keeping in contact, getting referrals, all of that right there from your CRM. Even if you're using your own company's tools, for example, if you're using Keller Williams intranet, or you're using Coldwell Banker's intranet system, and you've got your own contacts in there, no problem, they'll integrate together. And let's say I look up here and I say, I'll use this person, for example, Adriana. And what I will do is I will make sure that I go into Adriana's contact and I'm going to put in her birthday. So I'm just going to make up a birthday and say her birthday is 9/02/2022. And I'm going to save it. So when you build your contact list, you make sure that you put people's birthdays in here. Anniversaries, closing anniversaries, all of them count. Now, when I go back to my calendar over here, and I'm just going to do a quick refresh, and my birthday calendar is already showing. If I come over to September, oh, you know what? I think I came to did I go to the right calendar? To the right contacts? I did. So, I forgot, I didn't save it. Sorry. So let me save it. And then what will happen is it may take a minute or two. But what will happen is, because I added her birthday to her contacts, it will now show on my calendar. And then the first of the month, I will open up my Gmail, go into my templates, and open up the birthday template, and I will put in happy birthday, have a blast, whatever, send them a digital gift, whatever, and then schedule it to go out on that day. And it will go out with their email address on it, and it will go out on that day. That simple, that powerful. But until I need it, I just keep it where you don't see the calendar for the birthdays for that particular month. You see? Now, here's my open house calendar. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an open house event. So I'm going to click on create up here in the upper left corner, and I'm going to create an event. Okay. And so I'm going to put up an event for an open house, and I guess I should spell it right? And I'm going to put in 123 Main Street, Long Island, New York. Now that's just information for me. Now, as I go in and I add the date, I say, okay, it's going to be, no, actually, I'm going to make it September 1st. So I'm going to put it in for September 1, 2022. And instead of being an all-day event, I'm going to make it from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Okay. Now, does not repeat. And I'm going to add a location, and I'm going to put in 123 Main Street. And we'll say, okay, it's going to be in, I'll choose what popped up. Edison, New Jersey. Okay, I know. So we'll put it in Edison, New Jersey. Now, why does that become important? Because now it's going to interact with Google Maps. You see? So when you make this event public and people can see it, they can simply tap on the address Google Maps will open up and navigate them to the location. You see? Now, below that, it says, is the calendar that it's connected to. And I'm going to change the default visibility to public. Now, by making this event public, that means not only can it be seen across the internet, the algorithm can see it. It's going to affect my SEO because every word that I have in here becomes a keyword, including the address. So if somebody says, I'm looking for real estate in Edison, New Jersey, 08817, for example, let's say that they did get that detail. Guess who's going to pop up? Me, because that information is in the public space associated with my content. Now it says add a description or attachments. This is where it gets beautiful, everybody, because now I can say beautiful 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, bungalow, ten minutes from the LIRR. You see, LIRR is a keyword. People might type in, I'm looking for real estate near the Long Island Railroad or the LIRR. Now this becomes searchable as part of the results. When I do that, you can put in, near the hospital or the university, put in all of that information, put in zip codes. You see, everything is a keyword. And then I could add attachments. So let's say if I click on that, I add an attachment, I can upload from here, or I can go into my Google Drive. And I know last week in the SEO webinar, I showed you how to create those single page websites, web pages. You can create a single page website specifically for this open house with photos and lists of features, with contact information, with other links, with videos, whatever content you have. And I can simply go right in and pick up whatever information that I have, and I can just drag it in here and it will attach to this event. Now, it's public, which means anybody can see it, and anybody can click on those links that would allow them to see the single page website or the flyer that I've created. You see? And so I'm simply going to save this at this point. I forgot to put it into the right calendar. So let me go back. And put it into the right calendar. So here it is. I'm going to go back and I'm going to edit it. And I forgot to put it into the open house calendar. So open house, different color, save. You see? So now it's in the open house calendar. If I want to just make it go away, I could do that. Now here's something else you can do with it once you've created it. Let me go back into the edit mode. And now I can invite guests. So let's say that you have a list of people that you know that are looking for properties in that area, or you just want to invite people from your contacts. You can go and say, I'm going to invite this person, right? And now they're going to get an invitation to this particular event. So you can, if you have individual email addresses or in your contacts, you can just add guests from right here and just put their information right there, and it will send them an invitation once you press save. You see? So now you have an opportunity to individually share and invite people to come and put their open house event in there as well. You see? So if you have, like I said, if you're working with a team, you're sharing this particular calendar with everybody else in the team, then everything that you have here or everything that they add to the calendar will all show on this one calendar. And now you can invite other people to it. You can make the events public so that the algorithm will pick it up, make it publicly displayable, and allow you to become a little higher in the SEO results. Okay, this is what it's all about, everybody. All right, so let me come back over here and see if there's anybody who has any questions that they need to ask, because we're just about to finish up. All right, so are there any questions out there, everybody? I tried to be as thorough as I could in this short period of time. Typically, it takes me about 90 minutes to really give you the full gist of what it is, but I know that we're working within time constraints, so I gave you the real heavy meat of the presentation. But here's my desire for you. I want you to take your own Google Calendar, take the features that I've shown you, and I want you to simply practice them. Go in and create calendars, create a family event calendar, create an open house calendar, create a new calendar for everybody that you want to meet. If you go out to meet people at a coffee house or a hotel lobby to talk about what you do for them or what you can, if you want them to sign contract with you so that you can represent them, all of those kinds of things, you put them in your calendar and you can separate them by event. That way you can see what you want to do. Yes, play with your calendar, Denise. Get in there and have fun with it. Nobody sees what you're doing unless you make it publicly anyway. So you can go in and, as I say, make all the mistakes you want. No one sees your calendar unless you allow other people to see it. If you're working with a team, another individual, or a group of individuals, build a calendar that you all can share. And when one person adds content, everybody sees it in their calendar instantaneously. It is such a powerful tool, ladies and gentlemen. You will win with this. And everything that you make public builds your SEO, makes you more publicly available to people in search results. And it's just a powerful, powerful tool. Make sure that you read through the handout. I didn't get a chance to go through all of the little details, but I added a lot of content that people really need to know about building a very powerful time management system. You know, for example, the next time you go and pick someone up to take them out to show properties, you know, make sure that they're on time. Make sure that they are respective of your time as you are of theirs. And you can do that in your time management system. If you're meeting with somebody and your alarm goes off that lets people know that you've got another meeting or you need to be out within the next 10 minutes, when your alarm goes off, say, listen, I've got a couple more minutes because I have another place to be. And your alarm will do that. Okay. So Denise has, is there a way to have your G calendar show when you log on to your computer? Well, all you have to do is, as you can see across my my console here, when I click on when I open up my my browser, my Google Calendar is right there. So I just click on calendar right across the browser right there. So yes, you can set up your computer so that when you log on, that your browser will pop up, and when your browser pops up, you can have it set to go directly to calendar. Sure. So you can have all of those tools. So again, just make sure that you go through those little steps that I was sharing with you earlier. And I'm going to pull it up one last time. You know, minimizing your interruptions, stop procrastinating. That is one of the 7 deadly sins of an entrepreneur. And I am as guilty as anybody else. So when I write that, I'm writing a message to myself as well as you. limiting your multitasking. There's only so many things that you can do with quality at the same time. So if there's a high value feature or event that you need to work on, put the other minor things to the side until you can get this one done. And at the end of every day, review it, see what you completed, see what you needed to move to the next day, and really just give yourself a pat on the back and remind yourself that you did the best that you could. And I promise you, it's going to really give you a really good sense of accomplishment, and it will help you as you move forward with your time management system. All right. So if you're interested in any individual or small group coaching, going through these features, getting your SEO optimized, or even me managing your page, please just reach out and contact me. We can talk about what you need to do. If you have any issues, any challenges that I can help you with, please don't hesitate to email me with your questions. I've been getting questions all month from your colleagues at LIBOR ever since we did the first SEO, and I've been helping them out as much as I possibly can. I've actually even been reaching out to Google to get answers for them, and people seem to be pretty satisfied. So if you're one of those individuals, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. All right, so I can hang out and answer more questions. I'm not running out the door, so you can record, I'm sure you're going to be able to see the recording again. But the presentation, oh, let me put that up on the screen on how to get the presentation again. And I forgot it's not on this particular screen. Let me go back and put it on the screen here, which means I need to go all the way to the top. And I'm going to put up the way to get the handout. And if you go to the handout page, well, I'm doing it the real old way here. All right, this is how you're going to get the handout. Email me at william@gwilliamjames.com, and in the subject line, simply type Google Calendar 2022. And you will get a response from me. You will get the handout as part of the search results. And I can show you really quickly. Let me just go into my Gmail really quick, and I can see the success. And if anybody missed, I can remind you right now to go in and do it again. All right, you see, all of these are saying Google Calendar 2022. Right next to the name, I see the number 2. That lets me know that you received mine and I received yours. Okay. All right, Alicia Q, if I pronounced that right. You see there's no 2 next to your name. And if you look at that, I can tell you exactly why you did not get the response. And it's because calendar is spelled with AR and not ER. It's a typo. I'm not that great of a typist myself, so I never talk about how people spell. But if you send me another email, Alicia, and put it in with Google Calendar, AR 2022, and I promise you, you'll get a 2 next to your name. I do that on purpose, so you can see the power of the automation system that Google has to provide us with. Okay, you see, so I just got a new one. This just came in, you see, and here's that invitation. Remember, I invited this person to come and join that calendar. So it says, I'm letting you to know that this person has given you access to view events in the open house calendar. And all I have to do is click on add this calendar. And now it will add to to this particular individual's Google Calendar, but it will also give me access to theirs, but only the open house calendar. You see, that's the important part. So you want to make sure that when you send out those invitations, practice it, try it, everybody. I promise you that you're going to see how well it works and how powerful this tool is for you. All right, so Marianne says it's going to be posted on LIBOR's website and free to all LIBOR members. So if you didn't get the entire presentation, you'll be able to see it in its entirety. You'll be able to get the handout, because that handout link will remain there. It's part of my Gmail system, and it will be there for you to get the information. So that's pretty much your Q&A I've been getting, people saying, I missed the previous class. There is a recording, Larry, of the parts 1 and 2 of the Google Universe, Google Business Profiles, Ads, and SEO presentation. Don't miss it. You're gonna love it. And I am so looking forward to, hopefully in the next couple of months, I know that your presentation schedule is pretty filled because LIBOR has association with so many talented instructors and presenters out there that she's keeping information in front of you at all times. But I would really love the opportunity to either come live or do a webinar series on the Google Universe so that you could learn my secrets, tips, and tricks for Google Calendar and Google Gmail, and using the CRM features in Google Contacts, and even the ones in Google Drive, and the features and focus of getting your media for Google Photos, YouTube, and how to really maximize on those features as well. So I will be talking with the great staff over there that have supporting this information to you. I think you're really going to enjoy what we have coming up for you. So with that being said, let me go. I should have just went on and went to the bottom of the page and say thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you for taking the time to be here. Those of you who are watching this by video, you didn't come to the live class, it's perfectly okay. Everything applies to you too. You've got questions, I want to answer them for you. If you need support, I'm here to help you. So email me, let me know what your concerns are, and I will meet you halfway. Even if we have to do a one-to-one Zoom session where I can see your screen and help you navigate your way to success, that's what I'm here for. This is my business enterprise, and I want you to be successful in your business enterprise as well. All right. So let's see if there's any other questions. I appreciate all of you. Everybody's saying thank you. I appreciate everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing you real soon. So if there's no more questions, everybody, I'm here till all the questions are gone. But if there's no more questions, then I'm going to bid you all adieu and say again, thank you. And I look forward to being with you very soon. G. William James signing off.
Thanks, William.
My pleasure. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
Success over the weekend.
You too.